They helped me clean the room, and they helped me fix up things, you know, and their DNA is literally identical to ours if you look in the microscope. And they're amazing.
Chimps would help you clean the house?
Yeah, they help me clean up my room. They help me dust. They do windows. They flush the toilet after they use the bathroom. And
you let the chimps use your own bathroom?
Sure, yeah, of course. Bubbles would go himself. And he'd sit at the table and he picks up his spoon and his fork and he eats, and he's very polite and very intelligent.
While in Berlin with Jackson, Martin Bashir was invited to accompany Michael and his 2 children on a trip to the zoo. But because someone had evidently tipped off the press, the paparazzi were out in force, causing chaos and a potentially dangerous situation for the Jackson family.
Do you know it took us 3.5 hours to get in and out, and we spent 4 minutes in front of the gorillas? It was chaos, Michael.
Yeah, well, you filmed it, right?
Yeah. I was in the middle of it. Our cameraman fell over.
Yeah.
And at one point, Prince got hurt by someone's umbrella.
Yeah.
Do you really think it was worth the pain of 3.5 hours for 4 minutes in front of the gorillas?
Well, I'm not a foreseer of events. I'm not a soothsayer or a prophet of any kind, but I didn't know that was going to happen like that.
As you've seen and heard from Michael's behind-the-scenes camera of Bashir's interview, Bashir seems to express a genuine concern for the welfare of Michael's children and raises the question as to Michael's apparent lapse of parental judgment. Bashir comments, "It was no kind of trip for 2 young children, and everyone could see it, but Jackson himself." But what Bashir doesn't include is Michael's explanation that Michael was informed that the zoo would be closed during his visit.
I go to the zoo all the time. I go usually when they close it down. And they told us this would be closed down. And they didn't. They left the gates open, and fans and people started pouring in.
But in fact, what the owner said, because I was there, he actually said that his view was, at the end of the normal opening hours, he would have closed the zoo and then just opened it for you and your family. But you decided not to go then. You wanted to go in the day rather than...
It's not true.
Is that not true?
It's not true.
That was what he said.
I don't want to go in the day, especially if I have a problem with the sun.
Well, it was winter in Germany, so it wasn't...
Yeah,
it wasn't
nighttime would have been much cooler.
Yeah. But wouldn't it have been better to have gone at night?
Yeah.
So why didn't you?
I never knew that was the proposal. I thought we had a slot and that was it.
This was like just a misunderstanding from the zoo part and, you know, Michael's people, and they thought the zoo was going to be closed, but it wasn't. But that whole thing was not a big deal. I mean, he goes through that all the time.
Coming up, Michael's video cameras capture a very revealing moment.
So they're so quick to call you strange and weird. It's almost as if you're forced to be different.
Michael's father reacts to Bashir's special.
Well, one of the things I can see this man tried to do, he tried to pin something on me where I was real brutal.
What caused the surgery the other special didn't tell you about?
He was so badly burnt on the top of it. The whole top of his head caught fire right in front of my eyes.
All when we return to the Michael Jackson interview, the footage you were never meant to see. We'd like to remind you that while Michael Jackson provided much of the footage you are seeing tonight, he has absolutely no editorial control over the content of this program. In the past hour, you've seen a British journalist ask some tough questions.
What hurts you most?
When they lie. The lies. They're complete lies.
And some tougher questions.
You had sex with Debbie.
Yes.
I know that's difficult for me to say because you're so embarrassed.
You're about to hear Michael Jackson's family rally around him, voicing their support.
They can go and talk to these children all they want. They're not going to find anything. What they need to do is leave him alone.
And voicing their disagreement.
I hear Michael saying that he's lonely. But back in those days, Michael had his brothers. He had all his brothers to play with.
You've seen Michael's ex-wife come forward for the first time with expressions of emotion.
I've never seen that happen. And that's what made it wonderful for me.
And expressions of strength.
I do not leave my children. My children are with their father, where they're supposed to be.
But most of all, you've seen Michael Jackson's own private cameras catch the good,
I think God outdid himself when he created children.
the bad,
If you dangle blanket over a balcony, you are going to be severely criticised.
the strange,
You let the chimps use your own bathroom.
Sure, yeah, of course. Bubbles would go himself.
and the strangely human.
I am Peter Pan.
Are you like a Michael Jackson?
I'm Peter Pan at heart.
But what you've seen so far is only the beginning of the Michael Jackson interview, the footage you were never meant to see.
In addition to revisiting the interviews with Michael Jackson that were contained in the ABC special, we've also asked members of the Jackson family to comment on the information that the special chose to include. While the Jacksons are a very supportive family, not all of what they have to say is in complete agreement with Michael. And many of the comments you'll hear have never been revealed publicly until now.
We tried to get above all of this, the way of being united together. We don't like what some of the things are being said out there, but when you're number one out there all over the world, you get those kind of pot shots at you at all times.
You've been so successful and you've amassed so much wealth. You never need to work again. And yet you don't seem to be able to enjoy it. It seems that you're restricted somehow.
I enjoy it through my children. I enjoy
But I'm
it.
talking about you. You just don't seem to enjoy it.
Enjoy what?
Enjoy your success. Enjoy your wealth.
It's hard to. I can enjoy it behind my gates, but I can't go out and enjoy it because it becomes work all over again.
Working has been Michael's life from the time he was 5 years old. And as we've already seen, missing out on his childhood continues to affect him to this very day.
You often seem very lonely. Is that true?
I used to be very lonely, painfully lonely. So you have no idea. I used to walk the streets looking for people to talk to.
I hear Michael saying that he was lonely, but back in those days, Michael had his brothers. He had all his brothers to play with.
Yeah, all of us.
Oh, and so, and the kids that he brought all the candy around, he buy so much candy, and kids would be in a circle, standing around in a circle, and they all be eating candy off the allowance I had given him. But one thing he enjoyed, to see those kids eating that candy, he'd be laughing.
Weren't you surrounded by your family, by musicians, by people wanting to be your friend? You were an international superstar. How can you say you had no friends?
Because those people spoke to me on a language, on another level, that was musical, that was entertainment. But to get away from that, to separate oneself from that, and to try to discover the fun things about life.
When do you feel lonely?
When do I feel lonely? I can be, usually in hotels when there's thousands of friends chanting, you're out in the street, using sleeping bags, and they're chanting how much they love you and everything, and you can't get out, you feel trapped inside.